Hi, everybody, and welcome to Proline, coming to you direct from Las Vegas. It's the longest-running sports handicapping show in America. I'm Dave Cokin, joined by Jim Feist. We're going to take a look at NFL Week 1, including the Seahawks, Packers, Giants, Cowboys. We're also going to go through some betting odds in the AFC. And, Jim, if people want to subscribe to the channel, that's free, and they get great stuff for free along with that.
Absolutely, Dave. Go to ProlineTV.com. Click on the subscribe button, and you'll get notifications on new videos. Plus, you'll be sent a code to get 7 days of my service absolutely free and an opportunity to watch Proline whenever you want. Plus, I've got a Vegas Sports Masters football special, 3 games for only $29 by calling 855-546-9467. 3 games, including a $500 high roller going tonight. This is an introductory special for Vegas Sports Masters viewers only to give you a taste of winning. 3 games, $29 at 855-546-9467. That's 855-JIM-WINS.
My plays are online daily at Vegas Sports Masters as well. And you can get an exclusive under-the-hat football release from me available only at Vegas Sports Masters free. That's right, 1 monster game, a high-end release on the house. Last week it was Notre Dame Fighting Irish blowout Temple 49-16. If you want this blowout winner on the house, just call 888-777-4155 and use the code words under the hat. That's 888-777-4155. We're both coming off what were very enjoyable, exciting, profitable preseasons, good starts to the college football season. We'll get more into that later on, but right now I want to talk about the poll question. We do this every week, so let's look at this week's Proline poll question, Jim. Which big NFL Week 1 underdog has the best chance to get a straight-up upset win? And the 4 choices we used are the Browns, the Jets, the Bears, and the 49ers.
Well, that's a motley group, I'll tell you. Those teams are not
I like
going to...
one of them.
I'm
not going to say which one it is.
Well, I'm going to tell you what the fans think.
All right.
13% picked the Jets. 13% picked the Browns. These are straight-up victories by these teams. This is what the public thinks, the possibility of winning straight up. Now, 43% picked the 49ers, and 31% picked the Bears. Well, you know, I happen to agree that if there's an upset in this group, it would be the 49ers could beat the Panthers. Panthers didn't do all that well in the preseason. 49ers played physical football. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. What I'm saying is, of this 4, now maybe none of these teams will win straight up. That's a distinct possibility. But, you know, when you got Hoyer at quarterback, who happens to be, I think, the only quarterback in the last 25 years that had a winning record when he was with the Browns. He was 10-6 with the Browns. That's kind of remarkable because the Browns just never win.
Oh.
So, and he did pretty well with Houston until he got into the playoffs, and that was just a brain fart, the way he played that game. But they got a new coaching staff there. The Browns have some new things going on. The quarterback there is brand new, coming out of college. The Jets may be the worst offensive football team that's ever been put together. That actually might be a good matchup for UNLV. They might be able to handle them. They couldn't handle Howard, but they might be able to handle the Jets.
Had Mo Howard and Shemp as well. They're pretty good, you know.
I know that. Yeah, you're right. I know.
Nobody under the age of 40 has any idea what I just said.
Well, yeah, you could watch. What's that station that runs those old shows? Nickelodeon or something?
It was a Three Stooges reference. Howard, of course, being the school that played UNLV last week, and Mo, Shemp, and Curly, their last name. They were brothers, and their last name was Howard. Larry was not a brother.
Good stuff. And what would you have won straight up? Straight up bet on Howard to...
there was an offshore that had a money line on it.
Had to be 20,000 for $20.
No, it was 550 to 1. Okay. So and from what I understand, there was a $2 bet and a $10 bet.
Somebody actually bet Howard.
Yeah. So somebody picked up $1,100 for a $2 bet, and somebody else picked up $5,500 for
it had to be an alumni. The only person would possibly.
Somebody just taking a shot. That's why. Yeah. But that's why actually you won't find money lines above a certain level. the Nevada books because
Right.
nobody's going to bet the favorite on those.
Correct.
And, if somebody gets lucky on an
Nobody
upset,
wants to bet a lot to win a little.
well, if somebody's got a $100 ticket
Speaking
on Howard at that price, they made a lot of money. Okay.
Speaking of betting a lot to win a little, the big fight that just passed with Mayweather.
That was one. That's the most.
That
It's the most I've ever laid.
Right.
I'm not laying 5-1 as a rule, but
I got 450 on that. So
there was no question I was going to make that play.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, let's get back to what the poll question was. I'll mention the one of the four that I think has a shot to pull the upset, actually, because I gave it out as a free play anyway. So that's the Bears. Look, got a few things working here. And this is more point spread oriented than straight up. So it's not really answering the questions, but if you cover the spread, that's all that really matters, right? I think the Bears are going to be better than they were a year ago. They were not fortunate with injuries, and I thought maybe there was a bit of a negative attitude to begin with. Yeah, Cutler was a lame duck quarterback there last year, and you can't have a lame duck quarterback generally and be successful. The other thing is, something to keep in mind. It doesn't mean it's going to automatically win, but boy, it's been good over the years. Betting against the Super Bowl loser in the first game of the new season. It had a long streak. I think it was 13 in a row where the team had gone belly up against the spread in week one. And then, as these trends will have a tendency to do, which is why I'm not a big trend guy, I think 3 in a row won. But the last 2 have gone back the other direction. And I think Atlanta could be in for a more difficult game than people think here. I thought the Bears +7 were alive. And by the way, that angle is 15-3 the last 18 years, going against the Super Bowl loser in game 1 of the new season. They're 3-15 against the spread. So the play would be Chicago. And I just like the matchup. I think the Bears are going to give them a game.
Well, you have Fox there. He's on the hot seat. There's no question. They have Glennon now at quarterback. They have Trubisky as the backup, who happened to look good in preseason.
He did.
But preseason is preseason, so we have to take it with a grain of salt. But there's a lot of unknown stuff going on in Chicago at this point. They can run the ball decently, and if you can keep Atlanta's offense, they have the best offense in football. Last year, they definitely led the league in points scored, and they're still there.
But will they be as sharp as they were last year?
Well, they lost their offensive coordinator,
Yep.
which is a huge loss. And he may have been the guy that was responsible to lose the Super Bowl because he never slowed down and ran the clock. But he was extremely good as an offensive coordinator for this team throughout the whole year. Now, that's gone. I don't know if they're going to be able to carry. I'm going to say no. They're not going to be able to duplicate what they did a year ago. But you don't have to duplicate what you did a year ago to win this game straight up. Covering 7 on the road is another issue. Yep. So I'd be much happier taking the Bears +7.
I don't think it's going past that. I think you take the 7.
No, it's actually come down a little bit. I've seen some 6.5. As a matter of fact, I got it right here.
You get +7 at -110. I would take that now.
Yeah,
because I don't think it's going to be available.
I don't think you'll get the 110. I think we're looking at.
It's already going to 120.
115. Yeah, you're going to have to lay 115 if you take 7.
All right. Excuse me. We want to thank everybody who participated in this week's poll question. And we'll remind you that we post a new Proline poll question every Monday morning on our various social media networks, and the results will be announced right here every week on the show.
And if you'd like to send us a suggestion for a Proline poll question of the week, or if you have any questions about our selections, our service packages, send me a direct message on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and I'll get right back to you.
And when we come back, we will look at a pair of NFL Week 1 showdowns, Packers Seahawks and the Giants Cowboys. All right, welcome back to Proline. Week 1 on Sunday. You're always going to have some good games out there, some that might be a little less interesting, but I'll tell you what, everybody's going to want to watch this if you're an NFL fan. Huge showdown at Lambeau, the Seahawks and the Packers. These are elite teams, 2 teams that definitely have a chance to be representing their conference in the Super Bowl at the end of the season. And it's a rematch as well because last year Green Bay won, I believe it was 38-10, so you might have a little revenge on the Seahawks' mind here.
Well, revenge, they haven't done very well, Dave.
Ooh.
When they go to Lambeau, They just have not done well. I think they're 0-4-1 or something like that. And this is a tough place to play. And it's not that cold there yet, so you don't have that factor. But this is a very difficult game. I love the Seahawks this year. I think they're really built.
What about the left tackle?
Fant, the loss there, I think that's huge. You got a right-handed quarterback, you need your backside covered because that's a blind spot. So that left tackle, we still don't know if the plug in there is going to work. And we won't know until Sunday when we start watching this football game, because I guarantee you Green Bay sees that hole. They know he's out, and he's out for the year.
Yeah.
So they're going to go after it, and they're going to test that position.
You know, one thing I think we're going to see out of the Packers early, there's been a lot of talk about this, is had Aaron Rodgers lost his passion for the game? Well, I don't think he ever had. I think that's ridiculous. But I think Green Bay wants to make a statement in this game. Now, don't take that as an endorsement of the Packers minus the points. I've got actually a lot of games that I like this week in the NFL. This isn't one of them. I think this is a really tough game. I don't want to go against Green Bay at home. The number indicates to me maybe a little Seattle. If I'm just reading it from a line standpoint, so it's a game where I end up out of it. If I had to make a bet on it, I'd probably take the Packers.
I think the best bet in the game is the over.
It could be.
I mean, I don't see either one of these teams shutting each other down. I mean, Wilson is a monster. He's in great shape.
He is awesome.
It's incredible what he can do.
I don't know why he still gets a bad rap from some people. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, period.
I can't imagine anybody, well, I can imagine sometimes the public does some crazy things.
Yes, they do.
But we're not going to go there.
No, we won't.
Wilson is amazing. And you want your money on somebody in a game to pull it out, to play good, to hit the shots, make the right decisions. I mean, these two quarterbacks are fantastic.
It really is an elite matchup. Fun game to watch.
One of these guys is definitely, well, first of all, either one could be in the Super Bowl. Both quarterbacks could win Most Valuable Player in the league. This is a great game for Week 1. I'm not sure they're both going to be, mid-season sharp. They're probably not, but this is a monster game. You got to watch it. I'd bet the over. I think that the Green Bay Packers -3 at home. Basically, you're saying the game is even, which I kind of agree they are, and you got home field advantage, which definitely is Green Bay is definitely worth at least 3. So it's a toss-up game for me. I wouldn't bet the game, but I definitely am betting the over.
Well, let's see what Jeff Saad has to say on this game. Let's get Jeff Saad's take right now from Las Vegas Sports Services. Jeff?
Thanks, guys. Seattle has a rock-solid defense again and an improved offensive line, along with a memory of getting crushed here last season. Sure, they'll be up for the game, but they are 2-6-2 against the spread against the Packers, including 0-4-1 ATS at Lambeau. Green Bay has the edge at the all-important QB position with Aaron Rodgers, who threw 40 TD passes last season with only 7 interceptions, and the defense is improved. They're also 7-3 against the spread in Week 1, and the home team is 5-1 ATS when these teams meet. I'll back the Packers, guys.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Let's move to the NFC East and the early showdown between the Giants and Cowboys. Cowboys were swept last year by the Giants, 20-19 and 10-7. The Giants, at least on paper, have upgraded on defense. Dallas, they lost some stuff from this 12-4 team. And I can tell you this, there's some respected money showing up on the Giants for this game. Now, the weird thing, of course, is this bizarre situation with Elliott, who his suspension's been upheld, but he's playing in Week 1. I have no idea how that works. I don't care. All I know is he's going to be out there, and that's a big, big plus for Dallas. Not as much from the running standpoint. He's actually a bit overrated as an actual runner. His yards after contact last year was strictly average. But one thing that he is exceptional at, he's a great blocker. Great blocker. And having him out there against a pretty fierce pass rush that the Giants can throw in there, I think that's a big, big break for Dallas to have him available for this game.
It's an amazing situation that he's suspended for 6 games, but he's playing in Week 1. Hats off to Jerry Jones for whatever lobbying.
A huge game.
Pardon me?
It's a huge divisional game.
Well, that's probably why he was able to lobby that.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure that there's politics involved, but either way, this is a big plus for Dallas. But when you look at the history of these two teams, because they play at least twice every year, the Giants have really handled this club. And I don't see any fall off for the Giants right now. Eli is there. They know how to play this club. They've handled them before. They've gone to Dallas before.
I have a
They've
question.
handled that.
I want to throw a question at you. I thought Eli was starting to show signs of decline last season. What if that decline is continuing? They don't have anything in back of him. He's it. And that actually does worry me in this game as well. I mean, I think if you're just looking at it just on spread value, power rating as opposed to line, you're probably going to say, okay, Giants are nobody. That worries me, though. And I didn't see, I guess there was some good stuff in the preseason. The game against the Jets, I believe, was pretty impressive. But
But that was the Jets.
He has to prove it to me.
Well, Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, I know.
We're all going to face that. He's a champion. He's been around a long time. He knows how to play. This is the beginning of the season. He hasn't had a lot of bumps and bruises yet. If he's going to be sharp, if he's going to be healthy, physically ready to play without twinges in his back or his arm or his shoulder, this is the time to do it. And knowing how to win, knowing how to play a team, you got some young players on Dallas. They've lost some people, as you mentioned, Dave. I don't see Dallas being as good as they were last year.
Neither do I.
And I feel the Giants are actually maybe a little bit better. So, and with the history of this, to me, now you're talking a full four because you're in this game. It was there was an outlaw line came out in the beginning 6.5.
Yeah, well, that
was
was
absolutely insane. That was insane. Now with Elliott out, I was seeing 3s and 3.5s. Now he's playing, and I'm seeing 4 minus 15. So I think taking a full 4 with the Giants in this game is a gift.
All right.
I'm not saying nothing is a lock. There are no locks. But I think you have the best of it with the Giants in this particular spot.
All right, so we looked at a couple of NFC games in the previous segment. We're going to look at some AFC odds now. And I think these are three of the three of the most heavily bet teams as far as winning the conference title is concerned, or winning the Super Bowl as well. We'll start with number 3, which I'm pretty sure, based on the conversations that I've had with sportsbook guys here in town and some offshores as well, this is the team they don't want to win. This would be the worst result for the house is if the Raiders win the AFC. I don't think the books have anything to worry about. I don't think the Raiders are as good as they were last year. Look, they still had holes on defense last year. I don't think those holes have been repaired. And it's not a knock on the Raiders. I think they're a good football team. 9 or 10 win team, very conceivable that they'll be in the playoffs. But I think that the price on them at this point is it's beyond valueless. I think that at this point, if you were to take the Raiders at 3-1 to win the AFC, I think that's just a bad bet.
Oh, a terrible bet. I don't know how to exactly figure out the real odds, but that's highway robbery. They're not 3-1. First of all,
now they would be if they were the Las Vegas Raiders already, but we'll have to wait for that.
Okay. So you really, what's that, 2 more years after this?
Yeah, we got a ways to go.
Okay. I can't wait for them to come, though. I'm happy we're getting a team. And the Raiders would be perfect fit here. But they're not a perfect fit to win the AFC. I mean, this is a team with a lot of holes on defense. I mean, their defense is.
I don't think they're the best team in their division.
No, well, the best team in their division, you'd probably have to go with the defense of the Broncos.
No, I don't like. Actually, don't like the. I'm going to give you. Here's my picks for the AFC West this year. Chiefs. I'll give the Raiders second by an eyelash over the Chargers, and I think it's close. think the Broncos might finish last this year. I don't like their quarterback situation at all. And I think teams are going to scheme to make them pass to be successful, and I don't think they can. I think the Broncos are going to go backwards. A great organization, and this isn't going to be one of those steep declines where they fall apart and become some 3-13 team. They're not going to become the Jets, but I think this is a year where the Broncos could win. Could be a 7-9 team.
Well, we disagree. I think the Broncos are a solid. When you look at their defense, they're going to win a lot of games on defense. They're going to run the ball. I think that their quarterback can manage the game. There's holes in every. I mean, the Chiefs have been disappointing people for years. They don't have that many offensive weapons.
No, but they got a great regular season coach.
They
Yes, I mean, Andy Reid is a terrific regular season
There's no
coach.
question about that. But if they come in 1 or 2, I think the Broncos will be second.
What about the Chargers? See, that's a team.
That's a
I'll give you.
that's a real mystery.
I bet I like the over on the Chargers. I think they're gonna. They were. When something happens one year, it often goes the opposite way the next year. Nobody blew more leads than the Chargers last year. What, they have 6 games that they blew in the fourth, maybe 6 or 7. They had the lead in the fourth quarter and lost the football game. They also had an extraordinary number of injuries last year. The offensive line got crippled.
Look at their home field situation right now.
Well, I don't know. Is it going to be any worse than it was in San Diego? Because they weren't getting a lot of people. Look, you see, this is the problem with lame duck hosts, and I think that could be a problem for Oakland. I'm sorry, they're a lame duck in Oakland now. San Diego, everybody knew by last year, this team is not going to be here next year. Now they've moved. They're in this little soccer stadium. I don't know that it's going to be any less of a home field advantage than they had in San Diego. And it might be more.
great. I mean, Bosa is a tremendous defensive
that guy's
ball player.
fantastic.
Rivers is fantastic. I mean, he's
Their first unit has looked great in the preseason.
They do. The question, I mean, can you put the coach together with the situation and the home field and all the? I mean, these players all live in San Diego. They got to.
It's not that far.
I understand that, but it's not the same, and it's a new city, and are they going to get support? It's a real.
No, it's not a great situation,
No.
but I like the team, and I think that this is a bounce team this year. So I'm not suggesting that they're in the mix with these other teams for the AFC title, but I think San Diego's going to be, or excuse me, the LA Chargers are going to be a better squad than they were last year. Now, we haven't mentioned the 2 real pedigree teams, so let's talk about them: the Steelers and, of course, the Patriots. I mean, I know the Steelers are getting older, but boy, that's a good organization. And they just keep plugging in guys. Now Watt's little brother has won a starting job there. He beat out James Harrison for a linebacker position. It looks like he's going to be a star in this league. Roethlisberger, I mean, he's 35, but that 35 is not necessarily ancient for a quarterback. I mean, they got a lot of weapons in that team. They're a good team.
I agree. The Steelers and the Pats, as far as AFC stuff, I mean, these are the teams. They should be in the AFC Championship game.
Sure looks like.
Barring injuries, barring crazy stuff. I mean, look at the Steelers. The Bengals have flaws. The Ravens have flaws. Cleveland, of course, is Cleveland. And the Pats have the same situation in the AFC East. Miami, Buffalo, Jets.
Especially the last 2.
Oh, yeah.
Miami might be an okay football team.
Miami might put it together.
Oh,
Because
hey,
now,
Buffalo.
you know,
Oh.
the situation with
Jets.
the hurricane moving the game and they're going to have to play 16 straight weeks with no bye, which means they're not playing this week. So it's, you know, there's some unfortunate stuff there too. But the Pats and the Steelers, barring
they're the 2
major
best teams.
injuries, they should be in the championship game.
The problem is either one worth betting?
No.
And I would say no.
No.
It's kind of like, we'll use horse racing as an example. I mean, if it's, such and such horse looks absolutely great. He's clearly the best horse in the field, but he's 3 to 5. You're not going to make money doing that. You're going to lose money in the long run doing that. It's just you're getting the worst of it. As good as the Patriots are, and they're clearly, on paper, they're the best team in the league, but 11 to 10 to win the AFC. I mean, I guess you can bet it if you're that convinced. Go ahead and bet it, but I wouldn't. Not at that price.
Well, there's people that popped in here and bet $1 million on Mayweather, but the price should have been 40, 50 to 1. Instead,
Well, right, but that's not the case here.
Well, these prices are bad. Also, these are bad prices. That was a good price if you're betting Mayweather.
See, I think the right
this
price.
is a bad price.
Clearly, the Patriots are the favorite, but I think the right price on it is what, 2 to 1 to win the conference, and you're getting basically even money. That's you just it's
Well, futures. Nobody's ever gotten a good price.
Not
on
anymore.
Futures. No, it's terrible. You get robbed. I don't bet futures.
no, the way to go on futures is over and under win totals.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
That you can get value on. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, if you want free plays from our Vegas experts on a recorded message, here's the number to do so. It's toll free, 888-294-1970.
And if you want free daily plays sent right to your cell phone, just text GAME, G-A-M-E, to 64600. That's GAME, 64600. Also, if you want to get my AFC North Game of the Month for free, just text Proline to that same number. That's Proline to 64600.
And you can also get a free daily text from me by texting Cokin, C-O-K-I-N, to 64600. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week with another edition of Proline.